Hello everyone, it's PJ and welcome to my home, Grace Hollow. Today I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm making dog treats, dog cookies, dog biscuits, and my dogs like the peanut butter. So I'm making those today for my dogs. And so I thought I would share that recipe with you and how I make them. And while I do that, I'm going to try to catch you up. My goal for my first 30 days on this channel was to do one video per day. I had no idea how taxing doctor's appointments were going to be. Last week I had one every day, and we'll discuss that and what's going on there. But in the meantime, let's get started on this recipe. Now, what this recipe calls for, I'm actually cutting in half, so I won't do the full, but what it calls for is 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of rolled oatmeal, half a cup of peanut butter. Actually, I think that's 1/3. I think I wrote that down wrong. I'm pretty sure that's 1/3 cup peanut butter. And then 1 1/4 cup hot water. And like I said, I'm going to cut this in half. Oh yeah, and I also add just a little honey, just to make it a little sweet for my dogs. You don't have to, but I do. Oh, let me get a spoon. Okay, so since I'm cutting this in half, I'm going to start out with my 1 cup of flour. And I live way out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and there's woods and forest and rocks everywhere. So we get a lot of mice around here. We set traps and everything, but especially winter time, we get mice. And so I keep almost everything in jars. I like a lot of jars. Plus, I'm just a little fanatic with jars anyway, so I don't mind that I have to do that. So, okay, so there's my 1 cup flour. I'm going to do that. And then I need half cup oats. Remember, I'm cutting my recipe in half. So, half cup oats. My dogs love this, and I made them one day, and I used the fork. I put little circles, and I used the fork, you know, like you do peanut butter cookies, and put the little designs in them. And I left on the counter to cool. When I took them out of the oven, I just laid them on the counter instead of putting them in the jar like I should have done. My kids come by, and they think they were cookies, and they eat the whole batch. They were a little hard, they said, and I said, well, yeah, they're supposed to be hard. Those are dog treats. And they like them. They eat them and didn't even know. So, and on my peanut butter, like I said, this recipe, I wrote down half cup. I'm almost certain it's 1/3 cup. And since I'm cutting that in half, I'm just going to scoop some. I'm not going to measure. Besides, I usually put a little extra anyway because my dogs really like peanut butter. This recipe is not exact. It doesn't have to be. It works. So if you're one of those people like me that just throws things, you'll be fine. As long as you know the consistency that you need when you add water, and it's not that difficult. You'll know if it's too dry or too wet. You'll know. And then I'm going to put a little dab of honey. There we go. Maybe that might be a tablespoon of honey. That's plenty, I think. And I use, when I can, I like organic, but organic usually costs more. But if you go to like, I'm sure your market will have it too. I like Whole Food store. They carry a lot of products that's all natural. It may not be organic, but it's all natural. And it's comparable in price to anything else that you would pick up at Walmart or anything like that. So I really like it. So my flour, you know, it's the from the Whole Foods. I really like the all natural flour, and you can use wheat flour for this recipe. I just use regular all natural white flour, but you can use wheat, and your oats, you know, all natural. And the honey is all natural. I actually, the honey is actually very expensive. We have locally in our town, we have an Amish store, and they have all natural honey. I'm not sure. It may actually be organic. I'm not sure, but I know it's all natural there from the Amish store. All right, so I have the dry ingredients and peanut butter mixed. We'll pour in the water. And then you may have to adjust the flour. You may have to add more if it's too wet, or you may add more water if it's too dry. A lot of times your, what's that word? Elevation. Sometimes your elevation can affect that too. So you just take those into consideration. But you'll know. Okay, so this is pretty much blended, mixed in. I found, actually it was at, I think, Big Lots. This, I hate plastic. You see, I use glass, stainless steel, you know, everything. I get stainless steel that I can. I love rubber spatulas, but most of the time, my dog wants in. Please hold. All right, you will go lay down. Your standard rubber spatula has the wooden handles, and I don't like the wooden handles because you know, you can't really sanitize them. I don't feel. I just feel like they hold bacteria, and I don't like that. And I don't know, maybe rubbers know better, but this is, I don't know if that is wood on the inside. I don't think so, because this is not very rigid, or not very, it is very rigid. I think it's metal on the inside, and then it's coated with a rubber coating, and so it's, I like it. And I feel like it's cleaner. Maybe it's not, I don't know, but it makes me feel like it's cleaner. So, and as long as I feel it's cleaner, then that has to be true, right? Isn't that how that works? If you like it, then it must be true. Okay, so I'm going to flour my surface a little bit, and then toss this out. And like I said, this is half batch. Okay, so let's, peanut butter is very sticky, so let's flour those hands. Right, look at that. And I leave a little flour on top. Dogs don't care, and it just makes it easier for me to handle and roll. So I just leave it a little floury. Now I wish, I have looked at two things I wish I had. And I wish this every time I make these. One, and I haven't been able to find, is a small cookie cutter in the shape of a bone or a paw print or something, or even, maybe a dog shape, or I don't know. I haven't been able to find. Or hey, since dogs like to eat cats or chase cats, maybe cat shape and feed cats to the dog. I don't know. I'd like to have like a cookie cutter with a paw or bone, and I've not found them. And another thing I would like are the flat, what do they call it? Pastry mats, where you put your flour on and you roll there. They're not super expensive, but when I think about it, I don't have the spare money. And when I do have the spare money, I don't think about it. Oh, it's not important, but one of these days I hope to have that. In the meantime, what I do, and it's pretty a unique thing to do. I'm sure this is a brilliant concept that I'm sure no one has thought of before me. But it works for me, and the dogs don't mind. So what I like to do, I thought I was prepared. I use a cookie or a pizza cutter, and I just slice these into little bars. Very simple. I have big dogs. I have an Australian Shepherd who is roughly 50 pounds. And then I have the little, I'm sure Mud. I think he's got cur in him. He's, maybe 35 pounds. And then we have several small dogs. We have 2 Chihuahuas and a rat terrier. Oh, and a cur beagle mix that sleeps outside. So I don't worry about the size. Little ones go to little dogs, bigger ones go to bigger dogs. And I try to make, different sizes. One of my Chihuahuas, she's only like 5.5 pounds, little. And as many Chihuahuas, she is got bad teeth. And so she can't eat big bites. She likes the small bites. So that's the way I do. Alright, well, some of these are a little too small. That's okay. Dogs won't mind. I am not prepared for this. Okay, I'm lazy. I like to make it as easy and quick as I can. So I took my cookie sheet and I laid wax paper over it. That way my pan stays clean, and when these are done, I just dump them off, and the pan hopefully stays clean, or at least easily and quickly cleaned. So, and I just lay these out into that. So while I do that, because this kind of takes a little time, I will talk. Monday, I think last Monday, I went to the cardiologist, and they found a left bundle blockage, which we've discussed. On Tuesday, I had another appointment. It was with my diabetes educator, and I thought we were going to discuss diet. I've done this before, but it's been 18 years when I had gestational diabetes. We went over the diet, and so things may have changed since then. In 18 years, 19 years really, because I was pregnant, and my daughter is 18 and a half years now, so it's been roughly 19 years. Anyway, I'm sure things have changed, so we were doing the diet again, but that's not what we did. She is starting some classes. It'll be group classes, and so all she did was really get to know me, asked a lot of questions about my health and things, so that she knew when classes did start, what things she might want to cover. So it was a very dry and boring appointment, but it was what it was. And so she will call me with those. I was hoping to talk to you this week about diet and exercise, but I really don't want to start a new diet until we get all these test results back and find out. Maybe a different diet is what they recommend for me. So Wednesday, I was supposed to have gone to the neurologist, and we went up there, and it was not good. It was an hour and a half from here. Can you hear that bird? It is so close to my back door. I love it out here. I love this bird, and it's so nice outside. It's like 60-something degrees. Really nice. Anyway, we get to the neurologist, and they knew when I called, or when they called and set the appointment, they knew I didn't have insurance, and it was self-pay, but they refused service because I didn't have insurance, and we qualified for what they called a reduced rate, a sliding fee. To talk to him, the sliding fee, the reduced rate, was $263 just to talk to me that day, and we didn't have that much with us, and so they refused service. They said all or they won't see. So I did not see the neurologist, and then Thursday I went back to the cardiologist again because they wanted to do a echocardiogram, which here it is, Thursday the following week, and I haven't heard anything about results on that, so who knows. I guess not bad. I guess I would think if it was bad, they would have probably kept me there and, I don't know, took care of the problem, I guess, but it must not have been an emergency. Last week was busy, and by the time I got home from appointments, man, I was just wore out. The last thing I had time to do or feel like doing was talking to a camera. Well, somehow the computer turned off and we lost the last little bit. To recap, I was apologizing for not getting the videos out last week. And I had finished the dog treats and put them in the oven. I put them at 400 degrees, and I left them 20 minutes, and the alarm just now went off. Okay. Ooh, those are very hot, yes. Okay, can you see? These are very golden, real great. These are real good. So I'm going to put these back in the oven. Okay, I turned off the timer and I turned off the oven, and I'm just going to let those sit there. I've got to pick my daughter up from work, so I'm going to leave those, and by the time I get back, hopefully they'll be cool, and then I can show them to you. So that's what's going on, and that's how I make my dog treats, and these guys love it. Other than that, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, until we speak again, God bless. A little quick trick. Once I'm done rolling, I have a trash can right here, okay? You can't see it, but there's a trash can here. all this flour mess, you know how it sticks to your surface, which is why I want one of those pastry mats. I take and I just use this long, flat spatula. I use that, and I scrape all that flour and the sticky bits that stick. I scrape off with this and scrape that right into the trash. There we go. And then now you spray your counter and wipe down with a damp cloth, and your counter is clean, fast, and easy. Okay, so now it's time to see, what do the dogs say? Do they like them? Vinny, sit. Sarge, sit. Sarge. Yep. He says, wait, let me eat. High five. You like it? High five. Good boy. Okay. Chance. Sit. Good boy. Do you like it? I think it meets with the dog's approval.